Welcome back to Rat Trap Garage. Today we are going to be doing a timing cover replacement on my 97 OBS Chevy 5.7 liter 350. I was going to do it in the last video, but then I realized I need to go rent some tools from O'Reilly and yada yada yada. Oil pan gasket took too long, so here we are. Let's get started. Before we get into the timing cover, I just want to show you guys something I did off camera. I decided since I'm pulling the radiator anyways, I'm just going to get rid of the oil cooler, which is known to leak on these trucks from these lines up here, all the gasketry. So I went and bought basically an oil cooler delete. It's like a oil filter adapter from O'Reilly. Got the part right here. It's a MFA 350. So I get rid of this oil cooler. When I pull the radiator, I'll obviously pull all these lines out, and this thing will be gone. This truck's obviously not gonna be doing any towing or anything like that, so I don't see why I need an oil cooler, so she's getting yeeted. Here's a little look at the goodies we're gonna be installing today. Obviously, new timing cover, some Fel Pro water pump gaskets. Probably should replace the water pump, but she's been chugging along. New hardware, and then went to O'Reilly and got a harmonic balancer installer and a puller. So hopefully those fit and work, and yeah, let's get into it. Okay, first thing we gotta do is get this fan shroud out of the way. Before we do that, let's get these stupid little this wire out of the way, which I don't know where this goes. I'm gonna be relocating my battery to the back anyway, so I probably don't even need this. I'm gonna yeet it out of here. Make sure I get this clip on done. Oh, there it goes. So these are the fan shroud. It's held in by, I think, 7 or 8 10 mil little bolts. Let's get those out. Those 3 out. Oh, that one's missing. A little extension. These are here. Ow. Okay. These out. Boom, baby. This off to the side. The hardware next to it so we know where it goes. Now, take this. I'm probably going to move the coolant overflow as well because that might be in the way of the tire when she's laid out. Get the radiator cap off. And now I'll take you down below. There's a little petcock. And we got to drain the cooling system. I'm sorry I lied to y'all. There's 2 more 10 mils down here, which I grabbed my little 1/4 inch because you can't reach in here with the impact for the lower shroud. I don't know if it's needed for this job, but the more room, the merrier. Get these out. We'll get that lower shroud out of the way. And we can get to the fun stuff. As you can see, the lower shroud is still in there because I've been fighting with it for 15 minutes trying to get it out without stabbing the radiator or bending the fan blade. So we're gonna leave it in for now. Maybe even if we have to take it out, I don't know if we do or not, but it's loose. It's ready to go if we have to. I have to take this off first if I want to take it out, but let's get to draining this. And here is the petcock I was referring to. So let me find something to put underneath this, open that up, And these are the oil lines, oil cooler lines, sorry. I'll be removing that. Go back to that guy. So all that, still dripping. So all that will be out of here. I'll plug the radiator with some caps or something, figure that out. But yeah, let's get draining. Another great design by GM. Yeah, put the petcock right above this fucking thing. So you can, when you drain your radiator, your cooling system, it comes out of every hole. Instead of just one, you know, make a little hole underneath that. But we're draining. Let's get these lines pulled out and get this radiator out here. Okay, the radiator's still draining. Got a little drippy drip left. So now we can come back up here, take off the radiator supports, which are both also 10 millimeter spiderweb. Get this hose off, get the upper radiator hose off, and get the oil cooler lines off. And there's another line over here, which I think transmission cooler, maybe? Yeah, it looks like it. We'll get those out too, and this thing will be ready to pull out of there. All right, well, that took way longer than I thought, but I got everything disconnected. This upper radiator hose clamp decided to snap, and I'm trying to take it off, so that took me some few choice swear words and some time, but we're going to replace that with a different style clamp. Upper radiator hose off. These oil cooler lines are off. Overflow is off. I'm going to put that somewhere else anyways. I believe these are transmission line coolers are off. And the two supports are off. So this thing should come right out. Ew. Look at all that. We'll get all that taken care of. Get this out of the way. Oh, yay, more mess. Okay, and now we can take the lower shroud out. Like I said, I don't know if this is necessary, but figured have as much room as possible. Alrighty. I'm going to get this cleaned up a little bit. We got antifreeze everywhere, and then we'll get removing that fan. We got the majority of the antifreeze cleaned up this a little bit in here. I'm able to get this clutch fan off, and it looks like someone has replaced it recently. It wasn't me, but it looks relatively new. My crescent wrench doesn't get big enough, so we're going to use a pipe wrench. Yeah. Big plumbing guy. So we'll get that on there. And hopefully I can just whack it with this hammer and it'll free up. If not, we'll have to, tighten up the serpentine belt and do it that way. Is that already loose? No. Okay, let's give it a whack as always. Auto Pro check. No, that didn't free up. No. So, we're going to do try that one more time. No. Take the 3/8 ratchet that just fell right here, and you got a little 3/8 hole over here in your belt tensioner for a ratchet, and then we'll try to tighten it to get as much tension on there as possible. Sorry, loosen? Yeah, whatever way. Nope. Okay, after whacking the shit out of it a few times with the pipe wrench, we got her free. Now we get this clutch fan off of here. And I believe I can pull the serpentine. I really should have got a new water pump. Oh! Yeet. That off. And do I have, before I take this off, do I have a serpentine route sticker anywhere underneath this hood? No. What? Maybe it's inside in the glove box or something. Maybe I'm just going to take a picture of it. Please hold. Sorry we had some technical difficulties. I was trying to film and it wasn't filming, but I just took the serpentine belt off. I took a picture before I pulled it off to see the route because I don't see a sticker anywhere under here that shows the route. I'm sure I could Google it, whatever. But all I did was take a 3/8 ratchet, put it right here in this tensioner, release the tension on the belt, and she slid right off. And she seems to be in good shape, so we're looking good there. Now we are going to tackle this water pump. And here is said water pump. So here's the trick. I'm going to remove this upper water pump hose, remove the lower water pump hose, and to get to this guy, quite tricky. So I'm going to remove the, I don't think there's 3 or 4 14-millimeter bolts that hold the pump on, pull it off of the block, and then remove that third hose. And then the water pump should be free. Let's get to it. All right, let's get to taking these hoses off. Sorry, I can't really film while I'm doing this. I can't really hold my hand or hold the phone and do this. So we'll just be over there, okay? Bear with me. I'll show you when I get it off. When I get it off here. What is this little ring a ding ding? Ring a ding ding. Dinner's done. Damn, someone's out there ripping. Okay, upper hose clamp is off. Hey, dude. Break free, friend. All right, got the 4 bolts out of the water pump. Now she's still a little snug on there, so I'm gonna give her a couple little whackies. Oh yeah, there she goes. I have a bucket underneath to catch all that juice. Ooh. And pull this out a little bit. Get this other top hose off. Couldn't really get it off in there, so that one's off. Okay, now I got it pulled out and I can access that other hose clamp a lot easier. Not a lot easier. It's still going to be a little trickster, but let's try and get her. Woo! Water pump is off. You know, these gaskets are nasty. Alrighty, now that we got the water pump out of the way, you can see how nasty it is in here. Obviously, now is a perfect time once I get this harmonic balancer and shit off to clean everything up, which we'll be doing. But next step, we're going to take these 3 14-millimeter bolts out of this pulley, and then the middle one is a 16 mil. So I'm probably going to use a 1/2-inch impact for this because that looks like it's not going to be fun. So let's do that. Yeah, damn, gross. Here's exactly what not to do with a 1/2-inch impact. Chrome socket 1, little 1/2-inch or 3/8 reducer 2. Don't tell anybody. Just keep the peepers protected. You'll be good. Okay, 14 mils. Like butter. Oh, that's stuck now. Tighten that back up a little bit. Boop, boop, boop. Really just need to break them free, and I'll feel pretty good about it. Okay. And I'm going to take that one all the way out over here. Put that down there. Beautiful. That one's coming out. What is that line for? Okay, 14s are out. Let's do the same thing. Oops. So up to a 16. Woohoo! Right out of there. Pulley, bolt, out. Pulley is off. Next thing we got to do is get this harmonic balancer off. So I'm going to put that bolt I just took out back in, just obviously without the washer, so I can get the harmonic balancer pulley tool on here, and I'll show you guys which one I got from O'Reilly. You put this as far as you can in by hand. Boop. Now get the tool on there. This is the one I got, EverTough 67007, and I'm using these fine thread bolts to bolt into the harmonic balancer. Harmonic balancer pulley tool installed. These little guys are 9/16 and this is 3/4. So I'm going to run this 3/4 in until this pops off. You want to make sure these are as even as possible all the way around, so you're pulling this off evenly. If it's crooked, it'll probably still work, but this is ideal. Okay. I'm going to make sure these little 9/16 guys are snug. Let's do that with the ratchet, not the impact. Like I said, you want to make sure you tighten these as evenly as possible, so that harmonic balancer is coming off straight. Okay, those are snug. Now we'll take 3/4 on the center shaft, I guess you could call it. I don't know what else. You just start running it, bud. And you should see her start to move. Yeah, there she goes. Come on, girl. Come on, shawty. I have this truck at the worst height to work in the engine bay. I got to be on my tippy toes. I feel like my friend Garrett. In his day-to-day life. Young Money. Sheesh. Now let's get that timing cover off. Harmonic balancer off. Now you can see what we all came here for. Take that old girl off. Look how nasty it is in here. I'm going to take a minute after I get this cover off to just clean all of this. This thing's held on by 10, or I don't know how many, but they're all 10mm bolts. You got to take off the crank position sensor down there, and that was an 8mm that was going into the bottom down there. There's a little 8mm bolt. I already took that off because I was underneath it doing the oil pan gasket, so that's just dangling. But you will need to take that off to get this off. So let's go ahead and pull this nasty thing off. Do a little extension on the impact rune. Go to work. Okay, let's give that a couple 1, 2 tap taparoos. Let's make sure I got all the bolts out first. Yeah. Actually, no, I'm gonna grab a plastic little pry bar action so I don't mar up the block. Check. Boom. Oh, another sensor I missed. My apologies. I'm just going to cut that. Just going to cut the plastic clip, obviously, not the sensor off, because I don't know what that is. Boop. There she is. All of her disgusting glory. Wow. All right. I'm going to take a minute and clean all of this up, scrub her down, and then we'll get the new one on. All right, here's a new one. I've already went through, put all the new hardware in. They're all the bolts are the same length except for these two. These two are a little bit longer, obviously you can tell because that cover comes up. But before you put this on, you got to put a little bit of gasket maker right here. So I'm just gonna use what I have, the right stuff. 90-minute gasket maker, put a fat blob right there, and then we can throw it in. As you can see here, this is where your cam position sensor goes. 8 mil right there, boom. Here's where she's going. Got her all cleaned up as best as I could. It kind of still looks pretty dirty, but I hit it with all the razor blade, a little bit of Scotch-Brite, whole shit ton of brake clean. So let's get that cover on. I can clean it more. So I don't want any big debris falling into the timing chain. Okay, as you can see, got the gasket maker glued up in there. Now we're gonna slam this thing in. Also made sure the end of the crank, I kind of hit it with a little Scotch-Brite, more brake clean, clean it up a bit, make sure this seals in there. You want to, when you put this in, because obviously the oil pan's in there, you want to go in like that and kind of get the bottom in first, and then you can start putting your hardware in. So let's do that. We got it. Timing cover is on. The goop on the bottom is good to go. Pushed out the sides a little bit, just like we wanted. Everything's torqued down. By torqued down, I mean it feels right. This was a bigger pain in the ass than I thought. I had to loosen the oil pan up and push it down. I don't know if it's because I just put a new oil pan gasket on, but whew, it's kind of a pain in the ass, but we got it. So now let's put everything back together. Okay, spent a little time cleaning some stuff up down here. Got the crank position sensor installed. I went ahead and put the little nub for the harmonic balancer pulley installer tool in there. That's a 7/16 by 20. It comes with the kit. I'll show you which kit I got here in a second. And then let's put that balancer on. Okay, this is the balancer installer I got from O'Reilly. It's a 67006. Should be just what you need. Okay, here's what it looks like with the harmonic balancer pulley installer tool installed, I guess. I had that little nub on there, so I went and put the harmonic balancer on, lined up the keyway, gave it a couple taps with the dead blow to get it started. And then you go put this in. This comes with a bolt, a sleeve, a nut, and a bearing. And what you're going to do is just run this nut in until the harmonic balancer is bottomed out. And then she's installed. And then you can return your rental tools to O'Reilly for a little bit of money. There she is. All tightened down until she's bottomed out. Super easy with that tool. Now we just got to throw the crank pulley on and then water pump and put the radiator back in. She's going to be a rip. We got the crank pulley on there, the 3/14s and the 16 in the middle. Just use the 1/2 inch ooga dooga and got her snugged up. Now let's get on to the water pump. And if you're unsure if your harmonic balancer is fully seated or not, you can always go to the side of the engine after you put your crank pulley on and double check that all your pulleys are lined up, and which these are, so we are good to go. Okay, well these gaskets are absolutely baked on there. As you can see, I got this one off already, so I'm gonna hit this one with the wire wheel on my grinder, get that off, and then I'm gonna run some water through it to make sure I didn't get any of the old gasket inside the pump, and then we'll put her in. All right, got the water pump gaskets areas all cleaned up with the wire wheel, put the new gaskets on, ran the bolts through, try to get ready to throw in. Now the bolts, I put a little bit of that gasket maker on the threads, just help seal it up a little bit. I also put just a little touch of WD-40 on these and all where the hoses slide on. Just makes it a little bit easier for me because I'm gonna be trying to hold this, feed that hose on, and run some bolts in at the same time. So wish me luck. All right, let's try to get this in there. Okay, let's try to get this first hose on. This is the most difficult one. Water pump is in. Got all 4 bolts in, new gaskets, got all the hoses on, switched all the big radiator hose clamps to stainless steel hose clamps because the other ones are all rotten and gross. I think we're gonna put this lower shroud in next, and then probably the fan, and we'll go from there. Well, there you have it. Timing cover is done. Sorry I didn't film putting the clutch fan and serpentine belt and all that stuff back on, upper shroud. Figured you guys could figure that out because you saw me take it apart and you can put it back together. She's way down there hiding, but yeah, everything else is good to go. Timing cover is done. Oil cooler delete is done. I'll show you what I did there on the radiator side. These are actually oil pan plugs. M20-1.5, I believe this red pitch is. I'll put the link in the description, but I think they're like $2 each at NAPA. Put a little Teflon tape on them, put them in, and should be good. That is it for today's video. Got the timing cover done, oil cooler deleted. Took a little bit longer than I anticipated, but we made it. I think everything does when you go, hey, it's gonna take me 15 minutes, 7 hours later. Thank you for watching. Thank you for stopping by, liking, subscribing, whatever. Just hanging out. Next video we're gonna be doing is the front shocks on this. I was undecided if I want to run shocks with the bags, but I'm just gonna do it because it came with the mounts and I'm already here. So keep an eye open for that. Once again, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.